Wake up. Wake up. Isn't it too early? I ask Athena groggily. I wonder why Athena's so preppy in the morning. Athena is my wolf. I've had her since I was 16, which was weird because everyone else shifts at 18. Each time I try shifting in someone else's presence, I feel my bead tighten around my wrist and stop my shift. I remember my first shift. I was terrified. I thought it wasn't supposed to happen until 2 years. I had no one around me to help me through it. I was alone. It happened when I was taking a breather by the little pond I found. It wasn't as painful as everyone claimed it would be. I haven't mentioned it yet to anyone. Not even my adoptive parents. It's bad enough I'm taller than all other girls my age. I can't become the pack freak who shifted at 16. It's our birthday. Yours, but we are one, so it counts as ours. I startle awake, eyes wide. It's my birthday. Technically, it's the day Jules and Damon found me. I was about 2 months old when they found me and took me in as their own. It's our birthday today. You know what this means. WEFINDOURMATETODLY. I say with Athena. Okay, now I'm excited. Hopefully my mate adores me the way Damon adores Jules, my adoptive parents. The thought of it alone sent me into a state of euphoria. I take a quick shower and head to the living room. Mom and Dad live 2 blocks away from the pack house. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Dad hugs my shoulder and kisses my head. I love his head kisses. I smiled so wide I was afraid I'd split my cheek in 2. Thanks, Dad. Mom and Ashley walk in at that moment. Happy birthday, baby. Mom kisses my cheeks as she hugs me. I watch as Dad's eyes come alive as she walks in. To this day, she's still the most beautiful woman to him. Big day, huh? You'll be getting your first shift and hopefully meeting your mate in the pack, Mom says as she sits next to Dad. He wastes no time wrapping his arms around her and kissing her head too. Morning, Dad. Ashley voiced. I won't say we don't get along, but I can't also say that we do. We are at a stalemate. Morning, Princess. Won't you wish your sister a happy birthday? She already has you both fawning over her. What could she possibly need to hear from me again? Ashley, would it kill you to be nice? Dad's face twisted. He doesn't like Mom angry. And he certainly doesn't tolerate anyone that makes her angry. That includes us. He gives Ashley a look that spells fix it before I fix you, Arj fine. Happy birthday, Aries. Thank you. It means so much to me that Mum and Dad made you say it, I said with a saccharine smile that I know she hates. Good. Can I leave now? I'm meeting up with my friends. Sure, Princess. Thank you. Ashley is a year older than me. She still hasn't found her mate yet. My birthday is probably a reminder of hers. She went round the pack and couldn't pick up his scent after she shifted into her wolf. When she shifted back and still couldn't pick up his scent, she bawled her eyes out. I had never seen her cry so much. Can I leave too? I'm hoping to go sightseeing around the pack. Is that what we are calling it now? Mum wags her eyebrows at me, then shares a look with Dad. Please, can I just leave? I cringe. I am beyond mortified at this point. I don't need my parents knowing I'm going out to find my mate. Sure, enjoy yourself. When you get back, we'll cut your cake. Thanks, Mum. Bye, guys. As soon as I shut the door, I'm hit with this wonderful scent of pine and earth. All I wanted to do at that moment was follow the scent where it led. My heart starts beating fast and my hand becomes clammy as I follow the scent with shaky legs. Athena was more excited than I was. She wouldn't stop howling in my head. As I turn towards the cool kid's spot, my heart skids to a stop at what I see. I find my mate nestled in the arms of Ashley, my own sister. The pain. I felt betrayed. I'm finding it hard to process my feelings. I can't make sense of what's happening at the moment. I thought everyone was supposed to stay loyal and expectant of their mate. This can't be happening to me. He turns to me and looks at me like I'm some alien. Can't he smell us? He can. Brace yourself, Athena. So it's you. That's all? That's all you're going to say to me? For goodness sake. UNWRAPYURHANDSFROMHER. I might not like Maverick, but that doesn't change the fact that he's my mate. You don't tell me what to do. Besides, I'm your alpha. I feel the change in the air. He's trying to make me submit. Athena rises to the surface and joins forces with me as we fight back. SUBMIT. No. Everyone else around us submits, including Ashley. I refuse to back down. He senses that he might lose to me and utters the only word that knows will break me. Maverick Tatum rejects you, Ares powers as my mate and future Luna. I felt a part of my heart break at that moment. The pain intensifies. I lost concentration at that moment as it felt like the world just shifted under my feet without notice. It took all of my willpower not to break down. Athena let out a painful howl in my mind. I almost joined her, but I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of seeing me like that. I never liked him in the first place, but the moon goddess still felt he was the right match for me. I guess the moon goddess makes mistakes too. Everyone looks at me. Their looks range from pity to smugness. They never liked me anyway. I was the stray, the freak, the one with no explained origin. I don't care for the looks they throw my way. IRS powers accept the rejection. A look of surprise, and dare I say pain, flashes across his eyes. I guess he wasn't expecting that I would accept. I fear I'm past my breaking point and swiftly run away. I'm not going to break down in front of them. I'm not going to give them a reason to mock me or pity me. I feel enough pity for myself already. I don't make it to my secret spot before Athena wanted out. I shift immediately. Athena's howl opened the floodgates. I spent the night at my secret spot. I walked home the next morning with hopes of eating away the feeling of rejection. I see Alpha Matt, Maverick, my parents and Ashley sitting in the living room. I spot a fresh mark on Ashley's neck. A mate mark. I turn to Maverick and see he has one too. My heart shrivels up at the sight. Hello, Ares. Morning, Alpha. He must have found out about my little spat with his son yesterday. Are you here to apologize on Maverick's behalf? Maverick turns to me so fast that I almost hope he breaks his neck. Dad gives me a look. He's wondering why I would disrespect the alpha like that. No, that's not why I'm here. What other reason could make him leave his house that early? I already don't like where this is going. What he says next becomes my undoing. I just wanted to inform you that you have 24 hours to leave the pack before you are thrown out or worse. I stand at the door aghast. I'm lost for words. I expected anything else but that to come out of his mouth. He couldn't possibly mean it. I swallowed the lump in my throat so I could speak. I'm sorry. I think I heard you wrong. Are you sending me away? I whisper the last part. I look at Alpha Matt. I searched his face for a sign that perhaps he was just playing. My heart drops when I see the resolution on his face. This can't be happening to me. Mom? I look at Mom. I find her eyes red, but she turns away from me and hugs Dad like he's her lifeline. Her tether to reality. Dad, I'm sorry, sweetheart. He had the decency to look into my eyes as he said those words, before he turned to comfort Mom like she's the one being sent out. I need the comfort, not HER. I turned to Maverick. Rejecting me wasn't enough? You accepted the rejection, didn't you? How could he have no remorse? No guilt? Shouldn't he be feeling the pain of the broken mate bond, or at least ashamed? He went against the will of the moon goddess. Maverick loves me. He wants me as his mate, not you. Ashley picked that as the right moment to voice her thoughts about the situation. I wasn't talking to you. The venom in my voice startles everyone in the room. I've never spoken to anyone that way before. Well, he's mine now. One more word from you, and I will cut out your tongue. The authority in my voice had not just Ashley, but Mom and Dad submitting to me. Even Maverick bends a little in submission before he raises his head up as if remembering he has alpha blood running in his veins. Alpha Matt looked at me differently, suspiciously even. He must have sensed my aura changed. Mom and Dad looked at me like I was not the same person they hugged and kissed yesterday. The look on Ashley's face was my favorite at that moment. She was terrified, afraid that I would really cut out her tongue if she so much as utter my name or breath in my direction. I could smell her fear. Hell, I could smell the fear on all of them except Alpha Matt. Good. I want them to be afraid. The sound of Alpha Matt clearing his throat snaps everyone's attention to the matter at hand. My banishment. Please pack up your belongings and leave, or you will risk being escorted out by the guards. Got it. I walk past them and head to my room to start packing. He marked her heiress. I know. I saw it. It hurts. I wiped the tear that was about to drop. He doesn't deserve my tears. Not anymore. We're going to be fine, I assure her. I want to believe it too, but I don't think I can fix that piece of me that was broken by him. I finish packing up my necessities in a duffel bag. I change my clothes and pack the rest into a pile. I take the pile downstairs and out to the yard. I head inside to get the matchstick all while ignoring them, like they were all just wall canvas. I lit the rest of my belongings on fire. The smoke must have attracted attention because some pack members started coming out to check out the source. Gossip starts to circulate. News of my banishment must have been leaked. Why am I not surprised? I heard from Simon that she was rejected yesterday. He was there when it happened. I heard there was a showdown between them and they fought. That was why Maverick rejected her. No one deserves to be rejected. I feel a little pity for her. She deserves to be banished. She was always a freak. I knew there was something weird about her. With that bead of hers that never comes off, I roll my eyes at them. I'm not going to dignify them with a response or a reaction. I watched my belongings burn to ashes before I head inside. If I'm gonna leave, I won't leave anything behind they can track me with. Mom was fawning over Ashley's mark. I ignore the hurt and walk past them. At least I know where I stand in the family now. I walk upstairs and grab my bag. When I head to the door, Dad stops me. I guess he has some last words. I'm really sorry about how things turned out, sweetheart. I guess the saying is true, it's not love on which the strongest foundation is built. It is the decency of merciful lies. Got it? You are sorry that Ashley, my sister, why you our daughter stole my mate. I'm just gonna pretend like you really mean it. He winced at what I said. I guess I hurt him with what I said. I love him, but he made his choice when he stood by his daughter, marking my mate. As I walked to the pack's border, I met with James, Maverick's best friend and future beta. You have to know, I don't support what Maverick did to you. It's not right. I know. I'm sorry I can't be of help. It's all right, James. Take care of yourself and please watch out for my parents. I will. I promise. Be safe out there, okay? I will. This won't break me. Bye, James. I turn to look at the place I've called home for the past 18 years, and I'm filled with nothing but pain. 18 years worth of memories, both the good and the bad. Here's to a new adventure, Athena. I promise we'll be fine. I walk past the border and the pack link breaks. We've been wandering about for a few days now, Athena. Let's find a real bed to sleep in tonight. I inform Athena as I log my tired body across the sea of trees in my path. I feel my muscles turn to jelly. I'm exhausted. I haven't had real food in days, or slept in a real bed. Hunt. Kill. Eat. Find a warm cave to sleep, then repeat. Athena has been my only company in days. Sometimes I talk out loud to her rather than use my mind. I haven't seen a single soul ever since I left the Moonstone Pack. Snap. The sound of twigs breaking in the far distance catches my attention. My hearing has become sharper the last few days due to hunting. I move to that location. What's a little girl like you doing out here all alone? The man bends at waist length to speak to the child. He's a rogue, and so were his companions. I would know. I am one too. I was playing hide and go seek with my daddy. The little girl answers like the gravity of the situation hasn't dawned on her yet. She hasn't witnessed the horrors of the world yet. She's too young. I was hiding with Mr. Chuckles, and I got lost. Her eyes started to swell with tears. She's terrified. Not because of those people, because she may never see her daddy again. I want to walk over there and hug her. Tell her everything is going to be fine and assure her I will find her dad for her. I stay put. If I walk over now, it will be me against 3, and I can't shift into my wolf. The beads will prevent it. If I lose, I'll be putting myself and the little girl in danger. I had to think this through. I saw an opening and dropped my duffel bag as quietly as I could. I move stealthily behind one of them and quickly snap his neck. Hi, baby. Can you close your eyes for me? I tell the little girl without breaking eye contact with the ringleader. She obliged. Why are you trying to be a martyr? Trust me, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna watch you maul a little girl to death for sports. You are a rogue like us, but don't smell the same way. What are you? The second one sniffed the air. I also realized I smelt differently than normal rogues. Something's different about me. Since you want to be a hero so bad, why don't you die with her, huh? He throws a jab at me. I barely dodge. The second one moves to stand at the back of the little one. It's a silent threat and a warning. I wish I could shift at that moment. Athena, I'm gonna need you. Lend me a little of your strength. This time, I launched the attack first. Our fist flew at each other. I may be taller and stronger than most female werewolves, but I am no match for a male with apparent training. In no time, I'm thrown on the ground. The little one's cry draws my attention. I find blood trailing down her neck. I look at the second rogue. He smirks. I got bored watching you both fight. Athena snaps the sight of the blood. She takes over, and for the first time, I shift in front of another. Athena is bigger than most wolves. She is huge. As big as an alpha wolf. I realized that was not normal when I saw the female wolves of the Moonstone Pack. All the more reason why I didn't force the shift in front of them. All Athena saw at that moment was red. She wanted to protect the little cub. She turns her eyes first to the one who drew the little cub's blood and went in for the kill. She spared none of his body parts as she bites, claws, and dismembers him. The putrid smell of piss enters my nostrils. I snap my head in the direction of the source. The ringleader was shaking in his boots. Peel, please, spare MME. His tears and snort mix together and run down his face. Too bad. There will be no mercy. He's seen my wolf form. I can't leave a witness. I growl as I walk slowly towards him. I hear his heart race with each step I take. I smell his fear in the air. He knows he's not going to escape my wrath. He stops pleading and prepares to shift into his wolf. I growl at him to stop his movement. He manages to shift in record time. Fear of death is a strong motivation. I bite him in his hind leg as he completes his transformation. His wolf growls and bares his teeth at me. That's a sign of challenge. Athena is in her berserk mode. She's not going to let it go. We launch at each other at the same time. He manages to nip at my shoulders, and Athena lets out a whimper before she gains advantage in size. She's bigger than him. She mauls his shoulders, dislocating his joints totally. He lets out a whimper. Now his wolf is struggling to stand erect on his shaky paws. He's lost. He tries to distract me in order to escape. Athena doesn't give him a chance. She goes for his neck and bites down. She doesn't stop, not even after she's drawn blood. She only stops when she hears the dull thudding of his heart as it comes to a stop before she drops him. She walked towards the little cub and licked her neck. She licks until the blood is wiped clean and the wound heals. She hears the sound of twigs snapping and stands in front of the little one in a protective manner. "Adriana," the voice in the distance shouts. "Daddy," I hear the little one say. All I could sense was the looming threat. I was already weak. I had no idea how many were coming. I don't think I can fight them all. I don't register what she says. All I saw was the threat. "Adriana." The voice was closer now. I get ready. My front to the ground, ready to pounce at the intruder. I see him as he enters my line of vision. He pauses and sniffs the air. He turns to me and takes a step closer. "Grr," I growl protectively. No one was going to hurt her. "Hi, beautiful. It's okay. She's safe now." "Daddy." The little one took one step in his direction. She trusts him. I let down my guard a little. I still bare my teeth, though, as I stand to my full height. Snap. I hear more footsteps and go back to my protective stance. I look in the direction of the footsteps. "Hey, it's okay. It's okay," he whispers. I don't notice when the stranger comes closer. I see him lifting his hands and I growl at him in warning. "It's okay, beautiful," he whispers as he touches my fur. Sparks. I feel sparks. Like electric current running through me at his touch. I don't hear the footsteps anymore, too distracted by what his touch was doing to me. He hugs me to himself. Athena gives me back control of my body. I felt so weak and exhausted. "You are safe with me." I did feel safe in his arms and I passed out. He wastes no time hugging me to his body. I wake up feeling disoriented. I look at my surroundings. It's unfamiliar. I shift the sheets and start to stand up from the bed and move to stretch when I feel eyes on me from across the room. I thought I was alone. He sat quietly at the far end of the dark room like a creep. It's unnerving. "Hey, it's okay. I'm sorry to startle you. I've been waiting for you to wake up for a while now." "How long have I been out?" 2 days. TWODAYS. Was I drugged or something? What if he did something to me in my weak state? The panic must show on my face. "Don't panic. You are safe here," the most magnetic voice says slowly, pacifyingly. I sniff the air and smell spice. I realize the room is covered in it too, and so am I, and it was not the most uncomfortable smell. I actually liked it. "Mate," Athena whispers weakly in my mind. She's recuperating after her fight with those rogues. I register what she says then. WHAT? MATE? Athena, don't spout nonsense. We already have a mate and he rejected us, remember? I know you want another mate, but you just can't go making assumptions. I scold Athena in my mind. I'm not one to give false hope. I mean, I've heard stories of second chance mates. I just never thought I'd have one. "Hello, mate." The magnetic voice spoke again. Wait, did he just say mate? I'm HIS mate. He must have seen the confusion on my face. "Hi, I'm Jason. This is Crescent Pack. I am your mate, and you are currently in my room." He offers me a smile after his little introduction. He has a dimpled cheek. I want to keep a smile on his face. "I'm Arez. That's a beautiful name." He offers me another megawatt smile. I love his smile, and I love that it's directed at me. I send him a small smile of my own. "Why were you wandering in the woods? Are you lost or something?" "I was sent out of my pack." "Former pack." I correct myself. I am no longer a member of the Moonstone Pack. Maverick made sure of it. I had a mate, I say with pain as I recall Maverick and Ashley's betrayal. Maverick might be a tool, but he made it for me. What happened to him? He must have taken my pain for something else. He rejected me for my adoptive sister and got me sent off from the pack. I answer with clenched teeth. I should have ripped their hearts out when I had the chance. He is a fool. His lost, my gain. He offers me a full smile now. He has a perfect set of teeth and the most beautiful smile. I take in his full face. He was hand-molded perfectly by the moon goddess herself. He has the strongest jawline and most kissable lips. He stands proudly at 6'4" if I'm not mistaken. I'm tall, but he's taller. His hands look like they were made to hold mine. His eyes are my favorite. They look at me the way Dad looks at Mum. I'm almost too scared to see if this is real. He doesn't look the least bothered that I'm checking him out openly. Instead, he looked pleased. The little one. I panic. He must have sensed my panic. Where is she? The little cub that was with me. Who took her? Adriana is fine. She's playing downstairs with her pears. You did a good job protecting her. Thank you. I breathe easy when I hear she's fine. It's nothing. I don't know what I would have done if I lost her. What do you mean if you lost her? Adriana is my daughter. A beat passes. Another. I don't speak. There it was, the other shoe dropping. Of course he's not perfect. He has a daughter. Your daughter? I whisper. I'm almost too afraid to hear his answer. I found her when I was looking for my mate during a pack attack. She was crying in a ruined building in my mate's arms. My mate died protecting her. I sense the pain in his voice. He lost his mate. He's a good person. He raised a child that wasn't his because his mate died protecting her. I'm sorry for your loss. No one deserves to lose a mate. I really was. I was rejected, but he lost his before they could build a life together. Wait. That means we are each other's second chance mate. I'm your second mate as you are mine, I say, and he nods at me. We're interrupted by the sound of knocking. I see his eyes glaze over. He's probably talking to the person at the door through the pack link. Few seconds later, he returned his attention back to me. Are you hungry, Aries? My stomach takes that as his clue to make itself known. I don't remember the last meal I had. I don't think my name has ever sounded better. It rolls off his tongue, starving. Let me get you something to eat. He offers me his hand. I don't take it. I see his face fall, but he lets it go. You'll warm up to me eventually. I want to take his hand, but I don't think I trust him yet. A repeat of Maverick might kill me. I survived one rejection doesn't mean I can survive a second. He opens the door for me and asks me to step out first. I hear noises the moment I step out. I give him a questioning look. Soundproofed room. I know I said I haven't had company in days. The unfamiliar voices make me miss the quiet. This must be the pack house. I smell different people and hear several footsteps. As I headed downstairs with him, looks were thrown my way. He leads us to the kitchen. What do you want to eat? Anything would do. Okay. Give me a few minutes. He leads me to sit at the dining table while he goes back to the kitchen. I hear the sound of approaching footsteps before it reaches me. Who are you? A voice rang out behind me. I don't turn to see who before I reply. Just because we are part animals doesn't mean we should act like one. Where are your manners? Coming from someone who doesn't smell like a rogue, but also doesn't belong to my pack, she sassily replies, as moves to stand in front of me. Who are you? I asked her as she settled in front of me. I should be asking you that. What do you want? Why is Alpha being so nice to you? What makes you special? She asked each question and moved threateningly towards me. Athena wasn't having this wolf pup challenge her. Although she felt weak, She accepted the challenge. I stared at her until she submitted. I could feel her wolf whimpering in fear at Athena's strength. Her wolf submitted soon after, and Athena went back to resting. "Who are you?" It was my turn to ask now, considering she just challenged me. "And none of your business," she huffs at me. Her wolf must have warned her with the strength of mine. "Okay. Well, unless you are of importance to me, I suggest you move. I won't be responsible for what I do to you while I'm hungry," I warn her. "Who?" she starts to say before Jason walks back in. "What are you doing here, Allison?" he asked. "Nothing, Alpha. I just came to welcome our guest," she said, winking at him. The fast change of her tone makes me want to puke. It's obvious she has a thing for him, and I wasn't sure I was entirely comfortable with that. So I show my dissatisfaction at it. "Grr," I growl in warning at her flirtation. Jason looked up at me at the sound. He smirks in my direction and brings the plate of food to my side. "Relax. She's a pack member," he said in a soothing manner. "I'm not just any pack member. I am to be the future Luna too." She flips her hair at me. I turn to Jason, really. "You could have done better." He let out a small laugh at that. "She's just joking. Go on and try the food," he sent her a warning, when he thought I wasn't looking. "Don't you have training right now, Allison? Are you slacking off?" I needed a break from Carlton, incessant training. I swear he's trying to make me break my nails. Allison pouted at him and showed him her nails. Carlton is in charge of training and security. It's his job to give orders concerning our security. If your nails break in the process, at least you'll be able to defend yourself when the time comes, Jason said. "I know, but he makes it exhausting," she replied. "As riveting as this conversation is, I would like to eat quietly and gather my thoughts, if you don't mind." I interrupt their conversation. "No one was asking you to listen. You can move away if it bothers you," Allison glared at me. "Go back to training, Allison. I'll be coming to access you all after I get Aries settled," and he instructed. "I'll go. Only because you asked me, not because of her," she said sassily. She had no other choice but to go, since it was an alpha's order. By the time she left, I had already eaten half the food he brought. "I guess the food is to your liking," Jason smirks at the way I was wolfing down the food. I chew and swallow my mouth's content before I retort, more like I'm so hungry, I wouldn't mind chewing plastic as long as it was seasoned perfectly. "Ouch. You hurt me with your words." "My food is nothing like plastic," Jason said. "Ah." I shrug at him and continued eating. I finished a few minutes later, and he cleared the table. His eyes moved to the beads on my wrist, and I hid them on my lap. "I noticed when you shifted, the beads didn't cut or come off, and it looks familiar," he mutters the last part. "You know about my bracelet?" I ask in anticipation. My first real clue to the origins of my beads. "I wouldn't say I know, but I believe I've seen it somewhere." "You know what? I'll make some research and get back to you on it," he offered. "I'll take it. This is the most I've heard about it since I haven't had any progress on my own. I'm guessing you need a bath and some change of clothes. I'll have someone send them to you. I need to go check on the pack." "Let me take you back to the room," Jason said. As I get back to his room, I immediately pass out on the bed again. His calming scent that surrounded me made me feel safe. I wake up to incessant pounding on the door. "Who is it?" I asked groggily and a little vigilantly. Days of always being on my guard. "Hi, I'm Madison. Alpha sent me to bring you a change of clothes. Can you open the door, please?" The voice spoke up. I opened the door and thanked her as I took the clothes from her hands. "I heard what you did for Adriana. Thank you. I don't think Alpha Jason could have survived another loss." She was genuinely thankful. I could feel it. "It's nothing." "I'm Ares," I said. "Nice to meet you, Ares," she said back. "I can't believe Jason let you crash in his room." He's usually very territorial. He only ever lets Adriana in sometimes. He doesn't let anyone up here? I ask curiously. No, he doesn't. So what makes you special, that he's willing to let you into his personal space? I know it can't be just because you saved his daughter. She circled me as she was speaking. I didn't sense any hostility from her, and Athena trusted her wolf. I decided to tell her the truth, which ended up shocking her still. I'm his mate, that's why. Hey, I snapped my finger in front of her eyes to wake her up. Sorry, I think I heard you wrong. You said you're his mate? She asks again for confirmation. Yes, I am. I nod in reply. But the legend of having a second chance mate is as rare as meeting the moon goddess herself. She exclaimed. I know. I can't explain it myself. I sigh and sit on the chair he sat on when I was sleeping. Alpha had a mate before. Maybe the moon goddess is giving him a second chance mate because he lost his too soon, Madison said, trying to explain the bizarre situation. I mull over what she said. Maybe she took pity on me too for giving me Maverick. He wasn't exactly the best mate to me. I wait for the stab of pain that Athena feels each time I think of him. A beat passes. Another. It doesn't come. It's good he doesn't have an effect on her anymore. I had a mate too, I say, and she looks up at me. Oh, honey. I'm sorry for your loss. She tries to hold my hand to offer comfort, but I move it away before it lands. If she was offended, she hit it well. He isn't dead. He rejected me, then marked my sister the next day, I explain without feeling anything. No one treats a mate like that. May the moon goddess strip him of his wolf, she said through clenched teeth. Anyway, get dressed and come down. Alpha wants to introduce everyone to you. The panic must show on my face, so she clarifies things. I don't think he's going to introduce you to everyone as his mate just yet. He just wants to thank you for saving his daughter and letting everyone know you're not an intruder. Oh, okay. I'll be down in a while, I replied. But deep down, I was a little scared. She starts to leave when I stop her. Please, did you, by chance, come across the bag I was with? No, I don't think so, but I can ask around for you. That would be great. Thank you. She left right after, giving me the time to get ready. As I step into the room, his scent intensifies. By the time I was done, I was smelling a little like him. I immediately head down and follow the sound of voices. I see a large opening in front of me, with all or almost all pack members gathered. I followed Jason's scent to find him. I assumed it would be hard in a room full of werewolves with different smells, but it was easier for me than others. He must have sensed me coming when he turned to me and offered me a large smile that would make me feel like a terrible person if I didn't offer one back in return. So I do. Here you are, he said, gesturing to me. I've been waiting for you. Let's get started. Attention, everyone. Everyone turns to look at him. I see the respect and trust they all had for him. Respect that was earned, not forced. Just a day ago, I lost Adriana. I was worried sick that something might have happened to her, but thanks to Ares, he said, pointing in my direction. The onslaught of looks I received right after overwhelmed me. She found Adriana and protected her, even without knowing who she really was. Not many people would have done that for a wolf pup. I like to use this opportunity to say thank you. He moved to bow at me, shocking everyone at the scene, including me. Alphas never bow. Their pride would never allow it. I instantly bow in return to ease the side murmurs that already began. Ares is my guest, and she will be treated as such. Any unruly behavior towards her would be punished, he said in his alpha tone, showing the severity of the command that would be all. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Eyes follow me for the rest of the night. Too afraid to say anything to me, but not too sacred to judge and question from their position. Is it really necessary to treat her as a guest? I hear a voice ask Jason, I get that she saved 80, but that doesn't change the fact that she's rogue. For all we know, she could be one of them and pretended to save 80 to get access to our pack, he continued. He wasn't even trying to quiet his voice. Yes, Luke. She's a guest until I say otherwise. Jason said you should have seen the way she protected Adit. She would have bitten my head off if not. If not what? Luke asked him impatiently, and curiously nothing Jason said, shaking his head in dismissal. I'm your friend Jason. Your beta. Why are you hiding things from me? Is there something about her I should be worried about? No. Look, I'm not trying to hide things, okay? She doesn't want to accept it yet, but she's my mate, he said, rubbing his hands on his face. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I just felt attuned to him. The mate bond keeps pulling me in towards him. I start to make my way to him to clarify some things when I bump into someone. I'm so sorry, I apologized. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't watching where I was going. Are you okay? The stranger asked. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. The commotion must have caught Jason's attention as he immediately stalks towards me. What happened? Are you okay, Ares? He asked frantically. Yes, I'm fine. I accidentally bumped into him. I point at the guy beside him. That when he notices the other presence. Josh, when did you get back? He asked. Alpha Josh nodded in greeting to Jason. He respected him, but he wasn't afraid of him. I just got in. I raise my hands to pack my hair into a bun, when Josh says my name in a familiar tone. Ares? He asked hopefully. I'm sorry. Do I know you? I asked. Thank the moon, goddess. I finally found you. Jason turned to me and asked, Do you know him? No, I don't think I do. I replied, shaking my head at Jason. I turned to the stranger. I'm sorry. Who are you? His next words shock me. It's quite all right you don't recognize me, Your Highness. You were a baby when we got separated. Baby? Highness? I said in panic. Jason quickly moves to my side and rubbed my back soothingly. Breathe. Beautiful, he whispered. I'm too far gone in my panic to focus on what he just called me. I'm sorry for laying it all on you like that. Perhaps when you are ready. I can come find you, or you can ask Alpha to send for me, Josh said, bowing. To me. I figured the beads must have some important qualities and good origin story. But royalty? That wasn't never part of the equation. Sure, Josh. I'll send for you when she's ready, Jason said calmly. If this was a shock to him, he hid it well. Do you want to sit down? He said, leading me to a chair. I'm still in shock as I sit. Let me get you something to drink, he said. I think of everything I know about myself and the bracelet. All of the information I gathered from my adoptive parents did not give a hint to royalty. No one has ever spoken of the late king and queen. I barely even know their names. I get sucked into a memory of me listening in on one of my parents' conversations. She's strange, Layla Dad said to Mom in hushed voice. She's just different. Mom paused, perhaps. It's a trait of the pack she's from. She finished. She could bring us trouble in the future. The seer said he couldn't see into her past, and that bead of hers. That never happens. I don't trust the unknown. Why are you saying all this now? Mom asked. The first time we got her, you tried taking off her bracelet to bathe her, and you got hurt. Then we took her to the seer, who said nonsense about only her true mate taking them off for her. Dad said, What if the bracelet of hers is there to repress her abilities? What abilities, Elijah? We are werewolves. There's no other ability we can possibly possess, Mom said, infuriated. Exactly. Abilities we know nothing about. I can't let anything happen to you, Dad said with concern in his voice. Anyway, we already have her. There's nothing we can do, he sighed. There is something we can do, Mom said. And what's that? Treat her like our own and hope that we never have to choose. Okay. Dad sighed. I'm sorry I yelled at you. Shits, it's okay. You're just looking out for us, and that's okay. I get pulled out from my memory from the frantic shouting. ARES. Jason called, panic written all over his face. I'm here. What's wrong? I ask, looking around for the sign of danger. I've been calling you for 5 minutes now. You zoned out. You scared me, he said. I hear the fast beating of his heart. I'm sorry. I was just thinking. I have no idea when I move my hand to caress his face, unaware of the attention on us. I hesitate and start to put my hands down when he holds them up to his cheeks. The sparks I feel are a reminder of who we are to each other. He placed a tiny kiss on my pulse before letting me go. This has taken a toll on you. Let's get you inside, he said, leading me in with his hands at my back. I don't fight him at his touch. He led me back to his room. Are you hungry? Do you want a drink? I'm fine, Jason, I said. Say that again, he whispered. Say what? I asked in confusion. My name. This is the first time you are saying it out loud. He smiled with hearts in his eyes. Oh, I think back and realize what he said was true. I haven't said his name out loud before. The intimacy of saying your mate's name is something special that only happens when you have both accepted each other or when you reject each other. I must have subconsciously avoided saying it. I've said it enough times in my head, but never out loud. That's okay. You'll warm up to me eventually. You should rest up, he said, leading me to the bed and helping take off my shoes. He saw the look on my face and immediately clarified my thought. You can sleep here. I will sleep somewhere else. I'll just be 2 doors away from you if you need me. Oh, okay, I replied. I'm not about to refuse being engulfed in my mate's scent for some unfamiliar room because of my pride. Please, do you know where my bag is? I was with it in the forest, but I haven't seen it since. I found it. It's in my study. I can bring it up to you now if you'd like, he said. There's no need to trouble you. I can pick it up tomorrow, I replied. Okay. Good night, Aries, he said, and leaned down to kiss my forehead. Good night, I whisper, stunned by his actions. He turns off the lights as he walks out. I get lulled into sleep by his scent. My nightmares wake me up in the middle of the night. The gown I wore was soaked through with sweat. I felt terrified, but had no recollection of the dream whatsoever. I shower and slip into one of his shirts to sleep back. I fell asleep quickly and finally had a dreamless sleep. By the time I woke up the next morning, I felt refreshed and relaxed. I make my way downstairs for a glass of water to clear my parched throat. The sound of giggling and deep laughter filtered into my ear. I turn to find disaster and the perpetrators at the scene of the crime. Jason's Pov. Daddy, wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Adriana shouted with each jump on my bed. I was already up after the first shout, but decided not to get up to rile her. Daddy, please get up, she said in frustration. Hello, Bean. Why are you up so early? I said, turning to face her. I want to make pancakes, but I can't reach the counter, she said sheepishly. Is that your only problem, Bean? I tease. I can't make pancakes and I can't do the flipping thing, she said with a quiver in her voice. One wrong word from me and she'll burst into tears. I try to avoid making her cry as much as possible. Come here. I open my arms wide for her, and she jumps into my arms for a hug. Let's go make pancakes. Yay. Wait, I said, placing her down and putting on some shoes. Why do you want to make pancakes? I want to give it to the pretty wolf that did roar and save Addie, she said, referring to Aries. That makes the pancakes a little more special. Okay, I clap. Let's do it. I lift her and walk downstairs to the kitchen. I placed her on the counter and she giggled in delight, her gap tooth showing. Her raspberry scent filled my nostrils. Since she was still dressed in pajamas, I figured there was no harm in a little spill. I tie her hair up to avoid it getting in the way later. I brought out the pancake mix, a bowl and a spatula, and got to work. I make her laugh with each action. Her laughter became my world after losing my mate. She became my most important reason to keep on. Am I a better chef than SpongeBob Bean? I say. Showboating for her. Yes. Daddy is the best, she said enthusiastically. I lean down and kiss her head. She laughs again in delight and watches me pour the pancake mixture in the pan. I wear a mitten for her as the pancake sizzles before I lift her up. Ready to flip it? I ask in a fake, serious tone. Yes. I bend a little so her hands can reach the pan. Ready? I whisper in her ear, which makes her giggle again. Flip. I turn our hand and flip it. She screams in delight as the pancake lands back in the pan. More, more. You want more? Let's do it. I laugh, tickling her before I make more. We ended up doing more than was enough. Some were perfect, some were broken. Daddy, it's broken. Let's do another one, she said. No, it's perfect. My baby made it, so it's just right. I say, giving her a big kiss on her cheek. She giggles more. I lock this memory of us in my heart forever. I make silly faces at her, making her burst into more laughter. I give her another kiss on the cheek and hug her tight. I love you, Bean. Never forget that I whisper against her neck. Let's serve it, she said in a hurry. I laugh and get the plates to serve, when a throat clears behind me. I turn and what I see shocked the hell out of me. Jerez said, looking at both of us with wide eyes. I swallow hard at the sight of her in nothing but my t-shirt. She is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Pretty wolf Adriana's voice drags me away from the fantasies that started brewing inside my head. Hi, I finally respond. As she lifted my daughter, the shirt goes up a little. The milky sight of her thighs almost got me drooling. I'm sorry about the shirt. It was late and the gown was making me uncomfortable. She tried explaining. You can wear any of my shirts at any time. What's mine is yours. You look better in it than I do anyway, I say, and I mean it. Pretty wolf. You have pretty eyes, my daughter's childlike voice said, complimenting my mate. Thank you, baby. So do you, Eores replied, kissing her cheeks right after. Daddy and I made pancakes for you. She giggled happily and pointed to the plates stacked high with food, before wanting to be let down. You made all of this disaster just to cook for me? I better eat it so it doesn't go to waste, she said, smiling. Not minding it one bit. They both start to eat, while I work on returning the kitchen to how it was before Adriana and I happened. My eyes kept getting distracted. My wolf is happy staring at my mate. Who could blame him? When I lost Emma, my mate, he took it the hardest. He disappeared on me. He barely communicated. He came back 2 months later, but I was only able to shift after 3 months after our loss. He came back the day he saw Adriana smile for the first time. Her toothless smile became our reason to hold on. I resigned to watching my girls as they eat. The moment they finish, Adriana stands up and says thank you for the meal, before she runs out to look for her friends, leaving me and Erez alone, which I appreciated very much. Can I get my bag, please, so I can wear something of mine? She asked. I wanted to say no, so she stayed longer in my shirt, but that would be too obvious. Plus, I don't mind providing every clothing she needs. Her bag is barely full with clothes, which means she only took the necessary ones when she left her pack. Sure, I'll bring them up to you, I replied. Can you also send for Josh? The sooner I talk this out, the better, she said. I will. Go get ready, I said, and leaned down to kiss her head. The action is almost natural to me. Her reaction to the kiss last night made me want to make it a ritual. I almost forgot the bombshell that dropped on us last night. My mate is the last of the royal bloodline. I'm mates with royalty. Ares Pav. I shower and change into my own clothes and head back downstairs. There's movement all around me. Everyone was up. I spot Josh in the living room easily and walk towards him. Hi, I said. You're H, he starts to say when I immediately cover his mouth. I received looks for my strange action. I signal him with my eyes to keep it down before I let go of his mouth. Where can we talk? I ask. Alpha said we can use his office. It's soundproof and away from straying ears. He replied. I nodded and he led the way to the office. This is all going to sound a bit much, but I promise to explain everything in detail, he said. I want to know, I said in determination. I will start at the beginning, he said, and tapped something on his own beads and a voice rang out, telling the story. The moon hung low in the dark sky, blessing us with its ethereal glow. The palace was filled with joyous noise at the celebration of the birth of the princess. The king and queen had had her for a while, but hid the princess to keep her safe from prying hands that sought to end her. The air was thick with jubilation. Every wolf present was there to show their joy at having a new heir, unaware of the pending doom. Amidst the joy and laughter, enemies were laying in wait, biding their time. We thought the rumors were what it was. Rumors. The king, Zalaver, blessed his daughter, Arabella, and gave her the bracelet. Similar to yours, but also different. There is a special trait of the royal bloodline. Not many know of it, only the trusted few. The king and the queen, Eva, feared for their daughter's life, and sought to protect her and keep her hidden as long as possible by repressing her powers. That night, after all celebrations were over, when everyone's guard was down, the enemies striked. The attack woke everyone at the palace. The tranquility of the night shattered as masked men stormed the palace, their intentions unknown. The sudden onslaught of attack caught the guards off guard. Their efforts to defend the palace were rendered futile. Panic spread like wildfire. Blood-soaked clashes reverberated through the once hallowed halls, screams piercing the night, as loyal protectors fell beneath the onslaught. The king fought valiantly for his kingdom, his queen and his daughter. He told his queen to run with their child and asked me to protect them both. The queen ran with terror and determination to protect their daughter. Our senses were heightened by the adrenaline fueled for the purpose of surviving. We were no match for the attackers. They came prepared. We were outnumbered. They were after the royal family. Each attack was carried out in precision, and in no time the king fell. Queen Eva's world shattered in an instant. She fought with ferocity fueled by grief and desperation. I defended her with unwavering determination, my loyalty unyielding even in the face of overwhelming odds. She fought hard but fell soon after. The palace, once a beacon of werewolf royalty, became a battleground stained with tragedy and loss. I carried the princess to the secret passage where I hid you. Then I carried you both through hidden passages and secret corridors. I navigated the labyrinthine depths of the palace, evading the relentless pursuit of the assailants. The night air outside the palace walls carried the echoes of the torment, a stark reminder of the tragedy that befell. As the son of the royal beta, it is your job to always protect the princess, Josh. I don't know what the future may hold for both of you. I'm already weak and wounded. I have fatal wounds that would either kill me or lead them to you both. I am going back to defend the palace. Remember to tell her the story of how her parents fought to save her. The voice stopped after the last sentence. When I woke up, you were already gone. I searched for you everywhere before I came across this pack. The Crescent Pack. Alpha Jason has been letting me go on trips to search for you, Josh said, though he has no idea of what I'm looking for. He continued, How did you make it work? I asked him curiously. Make what work? He asked back in confusion. The bracelet, I said. I was injured when I woke up. My hands were scratched on a rock. I placed my blooded hands on the bracelet, and it came on. I heard everything my dad said and started searching for you. The seer my parents went to said only my mate could take them off for me and activate its full potential. But he never said anything about being able to activate them myself. I told him. The intricate design of our bracelet cannot be understood by just anyone. I've asked around. No one has ever seen anything like it. He then pointed to the words carved on each wooden bead. The carving in it are said to be long-lost mystical writings. That was the only information I got. Do you think I can activate mine too? I asked. There should be a way. If the seer said your mate can unlock its full potential, then there must be some hidden powers that you can still use until you find him, he said. I wonder what it could be. I look around for something sharp to poke myself with. I spot a fountain pen with sharp tips. I pick it up and poke my thumb with it. I squeezed out the blood and let it drop on the bracelet. It lights up and some strange power engulfed me. After getting close to Jason these last few days, we can sense each other and sometimes feel what the other is feeling without the mate mark. He must have felt a tug at the mate bond. He barged into his office with worry in his eyes. What he sees stuns him. The power was still engulfing me. When it covered my entire body, my eyes lit up and I floated in the air. I stay afloat for the next 5 minutes as my body absorbs all of the power before I descend. I feel the power within me with every inhale and exhale. What just happened? Jason asked, looking between me and Josh. She activated 1/3 of her powers, Josh replied. Like it was an everyday sight, now we just need to find her mate to complete the activation. He continued. I am her mate, he said. Oh, Josh muttered. What activation are we talking about? Jason asked, perplexed. We are not sure, but if the seer was right and if what his dad said was true, there's more to come. I answered. I feel Athena rise in my mind. Ask for an open ground. We need to shift. Fast, she said in a hurry. Is there an open ground? Away from others if possible. I need to shift, I said to Jason. He thinks for a moment before he replies there might be. Come with me, he said, and led us both outside. Josh, this might come out offensive, but I need you to leave. The bead halts my shift every time I'm in the presence of another, I said to Josh. Trust me, you can shift in my presence. I was born to be by your side, he said. Jason growls at Josh in warning. Relax, Alpha. I'm her royal beta, he said to Jason. He didn't reply and just clenched his teeth. I don't pay attention to them anymore and focus on shifting. After my first shift, I've been able to shift faster than normal, but now it feels like the first time all over again. It takes longer to shift, but by the time I'm done, I realize the color of Athena's fur had changed from light gray to silver gray. She got bigger than before, standing proudly at the same height of an alpha. She crouches and prepares to run. The moment she does, she zips past everyone in a flash at an inhumane speed. Athena got stronger and faster. She ran close to the pack's border and back in a minute. My mate had the look of pride at the sight of our prowess. She gives me back control and I shift back. My senses were heightened after the shift. I had to focus on tuning out the noise. That was wonderful, Your Highness, Josh said, smiling at me. I offer a smile in return and look at Jason. He looked like he was communicating through the pack link. As I think of who he's talking with, I mistakenly tap into the pack link. I could hear his conversation and everyone else using the pack link at that time. I quickly pull out and look at him with wide eyes. You tapped into the pack link and were able to leave without a trace, Jason said, looking at me with pride instead of fear or suspicion. I'm not sure how I did that, I said in awe at myself. It must be because of your bloodline, Josh said sometimes. I can tune into a certain conversation of another pack, but not at the same scale you can," he finished. I nod in understanding, mulling over what he said. "I can teach you, if you'd like," he offered. "Okay," I answered before Jason spoke up. That was Carlton. He was reporting that something just zipped past him and the rest along the pack's border. "But I'm sure you already got that," he said, smiling. "Yeah," I said shyly. "I would offer to train you, but I think you should start from the basics. Josh said I can spar with you to test the level of your training. Besides Alpha and you, I should be the strongest here." "I would like that," I said to Josh. "I know I'm asking for a lot, but is there anyone that you can spare to train me?" I asked Jason hopefully. "I can arrange for trainings for you if you like," he said. "But since you can't shift in your wolf form, the trainer would only be instructed to train your human form." "I don't mind. Training my human body equals training my wolves," I said in determination. "Okay, I will inform Carlton. He said you can train your wolf with Josh's help," he said, looking at Josh for confirmation. Josh nods in agreement. "The smaller the circle, the better. We don't know if the people that killed your parents are still after you or not, and we'll like to keep it that way," he said. "I'm not going to let anyone hurt you," Jason said, pulling me to his side. I let him hold me. "He's proven to be a better mate than Maverick ever was." "Thanks, but I'd like to be able to defend myself if it ever comes to that," I said, looking into Jason's eyes. "I don't want you to have to fight if we can avoid it. But if that's what you want, then that's what we'll do," he said. "And that's my cue to leave," Josh said, interrupting our staring contest. "You should take today to rest and familiarize yourself with your new powers. Test your limits," he said, "because from tomorrow, Carlton is not going to give you any breathing space. He is a pack security for a reason. Take today to train your mind for what's to come," he concluded, smirking in my direction. "I will. I'm not afraid of a little training," I said smugly. "Let's see if you'll still be saying that tomorrow," he chuckled. "I'll be nearby if you need me. Or you could just tap into my mind and call for me," he winks. Jason snarls in warning at his actions. Josh just laughs and raises his hands in surrender. "You got yourself a possessive mate. Good luck with that," he said and walked away. I blush at his words, even though he meant no harm with it. Jason and I head back to the pack house, unaware of the listening party we had, and the future doom that comes our way due to our negligence. I test the limits of my powers for the rest of the day. I realize I can touch the surface of a person's thought if I visualize their face and name in mind. But it took a toll on me to do that. The next day, I look for Madison to ask for her help. She comes along with another friend of hers. "Hi, Arez. I've heard so much about you from Madison," the stranger said to me. I look at Madison in confusion. I haven't heard a word about the stranger, and I wasn't sure what she had heard of me. "She knows about how you saved Addie. She was away for some pack business at the time," Madison clarifies. "Oh," I said, and finally nodded in greeting to her. "This is Isabel," she said, pointing to her friend, who waved at the mention of her name. "Hi," I said to her. "I need your help," I said, turning back to Madison. The urgency in my voice makes her respond seriously. "Sure. What do you need?" she said. "I need new clothes. Can you show me to the store to get some things? I noticed I don't have the proper attire to train in." I inform her. "Oh, that's easy. Alpha owns his own clothing company. You can just ask him to send someone over with some things," she said. "What company?" I ask. It was rare for werewolves to run their own company since we lived closer to the humans. We have always gone into the main towns to get the necessities. She mentions a well-known brand and shocks the hell out of me. The brand wasn't just famous in the werewolf world, it was famous in the human world also. It was listed to be among the top 3 thriving companies by humans. I swallowed hard before I spoke. "Okay, Please, where is Jason? I asked them both. I knew I could easily tap into his mind and ask, but I needed an excuse to see his face. In his office. He's attending to some pack business, Isabel answered. I thanked her and headed down to his office. I informed him of my request and offered to pay, to which he refused. He made a call and instructed someone to bring over some clothes in 30 minutes. Since the person was coming over to the pack, he or she was either a pack member or a human that knows we exist amongst them. At exactly 30 minutes, I hear a knock on the door. Hi, it's Cole here. I'm here to deliver your clothes, the voice rang out from behind the door. Thank you, I said after receiving the clothes from Cole, who looked like a male version of Madison. Alpha sent your measurements. Please confirm if it fits, he said politely. I stood there wondering how Jason knew my measurements. I took a look at each cloth and confirmed they were my size before he finally left. I pack my hair into a high ponytail and change into the sportswear and head down. I hesitate before I mind linking with Jason. Hi, Jason, where do I head to meet Carlton? I asked. Hello, beautiful. My cheeks heat up and I feel butterflies swarm my stomach at his words. Just wait outside the door. I'll ask him to come pick you up, and when you are done, I'll come pick you up myself, he said. Okay, I do as he instructed and wait outside for Carlton. The tranquility of the air gets ruined by Allison. I thought you were just a guest. Why aren't you leaving? She asked with contempt. I ignore her, hoping she'd get the message and leave. But no, she pesters me even more. You can just tell me if you need some motivation to get you to leave. I'm happy to oblige, Allison said in a sinister voice. You know if you don't speak, no one will think you are mute, I retort, rolling my eyes at her. The longer you stay here, the more everyone forgets you are a rogue, she said, taking a threatening step towards me. But don't think I've forgotten, she whispered the last part. Good for you. You have a retentive memory, I said, my voice laced with sarcasm. Totally ignoring her attempt to get a rise out of me, I would very much appreciate it if you leave my personal space. She doesn't step back until we both hear the sound of crunching gravel. I assumed the person coming must be Carlton. Just before his car came to a halt, she leaned in and whispered in my ear. I know what you are. Watch your back. She smirked and turned to wave at the car before she left. I remained standing, wondering what she knew. The sound of the car door opening distracts me. I make a mental note to inform Jason and Josh later. We can never be too careful, Aries. The deep baritone called out to me. Carlton, I nod in greeting, and he nods right back. Get in the car. On the car ride over, I visualize Allison's face and try to get into her thoughts to see what she knew. But no matter how much I probed, her thoughts were well guided. She formed a wall between her important thoughts and surface thought. I could only see what she thought of Jason. Her attraction and one-sided love for him. I saw how she held herself at a pedestal, believing she's better than anyone else. And I saw what she thought of me. She thought of me as a leech who was here to steal Jason and shake her position as the top dog. But no matter how hard I tried, I saw nothing of what she might have heard or what she knew. Her wall was solid and strong. I come back to the present and notice Carlton had driven for 30 minutes to a secluded part of the pack. We were surrounded by towering trees. There was an open ground and I could hear the distant sound of running water from a stream nearby. The sound was calming. Alpha said you are a good runner, he said as we alighted. I nod in confirmation. I won't know for sure until I see it for myself. He said I am tasked to train your human form alone, which means you will get more heat than you can handle. I'm ready, I said as I stood at attention. I hope you can still keep that positive attitude after we are done, he replied impassively. His emotionless face almost scares me to run for the hills, but I'm not one to quit. He opened the car boot and brought out the equipment. He came along with a dumbbell, battle ropes, a stopwatch, a whistle, and jump ropes. He hung the whistle around his neck and held the timer to his chest. "You see that tree with the markings over there?" he said, pointing at a tree 500 meters away. "You are going to run there and back. I want to check out your speed." I stretch out my muscles and feel the adrenaline rush. My heart starts to race in anticipation. At the sound of the whistle, I take off running. I run a minute slower than I would in my wolf form, but I manage to impress him with the time. "You did better than I expected," he said, his demeanor towards me changing. "You were better than most of the guys I train. Since your speed is good, we will be focusing on your other aspects." "Such as?" I ask, eager to learn more. "Your strength, agility, core training, stance, and self-defense." He listed off his fingers. "Let's start with the core training. We'll use running to test your agility. Have you ever used a battle rope before?" "No," I answer honestly. "That's fine. I will show you how," he said, and picked up the battle ropes. He lines them up and crouches to a squatting position before he picks them up. He starts wiping them on the floor with speed, creating a large gust of dust in the process. I watch the muscles in his arms and legs strengthen. He stopped after 5 minutes and gave them to me. "All you need to do is repeat what I just did for 10 minutes, then take a minute rest and prepare to run again," Carlton said, without a change in his breath from the mini workout. I pick them up and do as he said. "Go a little lower." He pressed down on my shoulders at his words. "Widen your feet a bit," he said, and kicked them apart himself. "Straighten your back, stretch out your arms." He fires off, correcting every mistake. He only lets me stop when the timer goes off. He halts my attempts to sit and rest. "Keep your body in motion. If you sit now, you'll find it hard to continue." The minute went so fast, making the rest time look like a fluke. He asked me to stretch before I run again. I crouch to a starting position and wait for the whistle. At the sound, I take off, faster than I did earlier. This time, I'm 30 seconds slower than Athena. If I keep up at this pace, I'll be at the same wavelength on both my human and wolf form. "Better," Carlton said after checking the time. "You have good speed, but I believe there's still room for improvement. Let's move on to strength training," he said, picking up the dumbbells and handing them to me. "You will be doing a series of exercises with this." He demonstrates a series of movements and asks me to do them. Like before, he points out every mistake and fires off corrections. I repeat the same action for the next few minutes. By the time he gives me a break, I'm already gassed out. My breathing had turned irregular. I ignore his previous warnings about sitting down to rest and flop down on the floor. He lets me off for about 10 minutes before I'm hauled back up. "I know you are tired. We've been at this for almost 2 hours. You lasted longer than most people would and you haven't complained," he said, praising me at my dedication. "Just one last thing before we call it a day. Jump ropes," he said, waving the jump ropes at my face. I groan, but get up anyway. "I would advise you stretch out your muscles and release the tension before you begin." I do as he said. I started when he gave the signal. Each time I made a mistake or stopped, he'd reset the timer and ask me to do it all over again. We went at it for almost an hour before he gave me a break. By the time he released me, my muscles had already turned to mush. I was covered in sweat and a little dirt. We take the next few minutes to get to know each other as we both rest. He gave me a warning of what the next training would be like and promised not to go easy on me. If this was going easy, then I understand why Josh said what he said. We shared a few laughs and forged an unspoken connection. By the time Jason came to pick me up, we had formed a camaraderie. Alpha Carlton stood up in greeting to Jason, while I waved a little from the side. He responded to both our greetings before he turned to Carlton. "Carlton, how was it?" He asked about my progress. "She's better than most of the guys," Carlton answered, smiling. Jason smirks back in return. "I already expected that." "Ready?" He turned to me. Yeah, I answered. He led me to the car and opened the door for me first, before he settled in behind the wheel. We left Carlton behind as he packed up all of the equipment he brought along. We converse on the way back. The flow of the conversation came naturally. By the time we got to the pack house, the clouds had become a little darker. The moonlight shining through the red sun. At that point, I wished the training ground were farther, so this moment could last longer. He walked me to the door of his room. I placed my hand in the doorknob, ready to open it when he stops my action. I laid out a dress on the bed for you. I can wait for you to shower and change. I would like to take you out on a date, he said. I tap into his thoughts and see he was afraid I'd reject him and his determination to try again until I change my mind about him. I would love to, I said, smiling. My cheeks heat up. It took self-control for me not to run away like some schoolgirl whose crush just spoke to her for the first time. I will wait for you downstairs. You can take your time, he said. I take a few seconds to admire his taste. The gown he picked was elegant and casual at the same time, and it was the perfect size. I head into the bathroom. I shower and shave my legs. I whistle a tune as I get ready. I slip into the gown and apply light makeup on my face before I leave the bedroom. Either my scent or the sound of my footsteps must have alerted him of my presence. He walked to the bottom of the stairs, head bowed. The moment he looked up, his breath seized, and he stood there, frozen in time. The look of admiration, love, and acceptance on his face became my undoing. Jason's Pav, I asked her out. I have already prepared everything for today's date. The picnic blankets, food, wine, covers if she felt cold. I prepared the perfect place. I want to make this work. Aries is already attracted to me, but she's still scared of accepting me completely. I don't blame her. Not after what that twat did to her. Besides, I'm willing to wait however long it takes. I've been planning this for a while now. I've handed all pack responsibilities for the day to Luke. He can hold down the forte. I sense her the moment she leaves the room to head down. I walk to the stairs to wait for her to descend so I could offer my arm as a gentleman. Her beauty stuns me the moment I look up. She was already beautiful without effort, but when she's all dolled up like this, she's breathtaking. Hi, she whispered, all breathy. You look absolutely stunning, love, I said, wasting no time complimenting her. I watch as her cheeks redden. Dax, my wolf, howls in my head at her reaction. Thank you, she said. Shall we? I offered my arm, and she placed hers in it. We conversed as I drove for the next hour. We talked about everything we came across and laughed at some jokes. By the time I parked the car, we had already worked up an appetite for the food I prepared. This is beautiful, she whispered in awe at the sight in front of us. The sun had gone down and the moon was now fully in the sky, casting an ethereal glow at the setting. The rustling of the trees and whispers of the wind created an enchanting moment. It felt like being wrapped in the moon goddess embrace. Here, I helped her settle on the blanket and served her. We ate in silence, and I secretly watched her. We didn't speak until we were done. You never really told me much about your mate, she said hesitantly, before finishing the wine in her glass. That's because there's not much to say. I look into the distance and recount the tale. I was 19 and she had just clocked 18. We met at one of the pack dinners my mom used to host. What was her name? Your mate, Emma. She was so carefree. I chuckle at a memory the day we met. She walked up to me and told me she'd accept me. But we had to do things the slow way. You know, dinner, dates, movies, and all that stuff. She refused to just jump into the mating ceremony before she got to know me. I get that, Eris said, nodding her cute head in agreement. I did all she asked and enjoyed every step of the courting. I let out a deep sigh the day she died. I had planned a dinner date for us. I bought this really beautiful necklace and personally engraved her initials and mine at the back to give to her. You don't have to continue, Jason. No, it's okay. I was going to give her the necklace and tell her I was willing to wait however long she wanted until she was ready. I had no idea we were under attack. I feel the familiar sting of tears as it gathers in my eyes. I blink twice to send them back and continue the story. I had locked myself in my dad's studio. It was soundproofed and in the basement of their house. I was so busy carving our names, I choke on a suppressed sob. Jason, she whispered my name and reached out her hand to me. I hold her like she's my anchor, tethering me to earth. I drew strength from her and continued. I didn't realize we were under attack. When I came out, the stench of blood slapped me in the face. I panicked and started searching, looking for anyone to ask what was going on. I joined the others and fought for the rest of us, but I lost my parents and my mate that day. I never even got to say goodbye to either of them. She doesn't say anything and just moves closer to me and wraps her hands around me in a tight hug. You haven't mourned them properly. You've been too busy being a good dad to Adriana and being an alpha for the pack. It's okay to let yourself cry, she whispered while rubbing my back for comfort. At her words, the floodgates opened. Tears I've been keeping at bay flowed. That night, I mourned the death of my parents and Emma. I mourned for the boy who took up responsibilities too early and forgot how to cry. Minutes go by before I run out of tears. I felt better after releasing some of the pent-up grief. That was a little too much for our first date, I joked, my voice hoarse. Not really. It's been perfect. Do you mind if we take a walk? I'd like to end the night with good memories. Not that any memory with you is bad. Sure, I'd like that. She smiled softly and stood to her feet. We took a leisure walk along the trail I checked out the night before and earlier today. The fireflies and the moon light the way, gracing her face with a smile. I took her hand in mine and she didn't pull away. My heart swells the more I watch her. Her actions earlier were the most affectionate anyone had been to me since my parents passed. She has this aura about her that makes anyone she comes across with warmth and tenderness. But she's also the strongest woman I know. This feels magical, she murmured as she looked around before her gaze settled back on me. I hear her heartbeat accelerate along with mine. It does, I reply, not taking my eyes away from hers. She finally looked away and we continued walking. We come across a clearing and a lake. The lake in front mirrors the moon, surrounded by ancient trees. The atmosphere cackled with undeniable tension. I turned to watch her marvel at it, while I marvel at her. Her eyes find her way back to mine. No words were spoken, yet it felt like we spoke volumes. I felt content just breathing the same air as her. I took a step closer to her. She didn't pull back. Our hearts beat in synchrony, and she took a step closer. Our lips meet in a tender, passionate kiss, with the moon and the trees bearing witness to our love. I wrapped my hands around her slender waist, bringing her closer, and she dug her fingers into my hair. It was a moment that transcended words. This was the first step we took towards each other. We break apart after a few minutes. Our breaths are heavy. I promise to always be there when you need me, I whispered. A soft smile graced her lips at my words. I promise to be the shoulder you can lean on. We walk hand in hand back to the picnic site. I had her sit while I packed up. I felt her eyes on me the entire time. We hold hands on the drive back. She fell asleep before we got to the pack house. Everyone was already asleep. I carried Aries up to the room and sat by the bedside for some time. I got up and kissed her forehead and left. Aries Pav. I woke up with a small yawn and stretched my limbs. The thought of last night comes rushing back and I squeal like a girl into my pillow, his pillows. We kissed, I said out loud. I know, I saw Athena replies in my mind. It was great, I sighed dreamily. It was, she said. I felt positive today. I have training with Carlton later today. I whistle a tune as I get ready, bouncing lightly in my feet. I still have a few hours before Carlton comes to pick me up. Knock, knock. Who's it? I ask, turning to face the door like I could see through it. Madison and Isabel Madison answered. I opened the door for them. What's up? How was it? How was what? I asked, confused. Oh, you know, Isabel said, wiggling her eyebrows at me. I wonder if they know. My training with Carlton? I ask. Though I'm not afraid of everyone knowing I'm Jason's mate, I just don't want to go around announcing it just yet. Yes. What's your opinion of him? Madison said, bouncing on the bed. He's okay. Reasonable, I shrugged. This is my first time hearing someone describe Carlton's torturous trading as okay and reasonable. Most people just stop at heat hot. But hard to work with. She looked at me like some alien. Guess I am. I can do things others can't. I don't get the fuss. If you do as he says, you won't have a problem with him, I said, looking at both of them. You sound just like Alpha. Madison groaned, and Isabel nodded in agreement. A beat passed before either of them speaks again. You are coming to my birthday party, right? She asked. It's not just your birthday, Mads. Isabel rolled her eyes at her. Their friendship shining through. Something I've never really had. Doesn't matter. Cole might not turn up, she shrugged. That confirms my thoughts about them being twins. He will, Isabel said firmly. I wonder why she's more concerned about her brother than her friend. When's your birthday? I asked, mentally taking notes. It's on Saturday. She gave me the puppy eye. I'll be there, I smiled. Good. Now, we were gonna leave you to what you were doing before we intruded. They both stood up and walked to the door. Bye. Isabel waved at me, and I saved back before they left. Okay. I exhale, put on my shoes, and head down for breakfast. As I left the room, the sound of laughter echoed off the walls as children ran around. The whole house bustled with energy. I could hear the sound of tired mothers calling for their kids, but happy at their carefree spirit. The children flitted about with boundless energy and giggled. Adriana was amongst them, yelling out commands like some trope leader. When she saw me, she stopped to wave before she ran with the other. Their laughter filled the air as they chased each other and got chased by their parents and guardians. My heart warmed at the sight. I pray they never witness the horrors of this world. I headed to the kitchen and made a sandwich for myself before I went outside to wait for Carlton to pick me up. 40 minutes later, we are at the clearing. We will be doing a little exercise to warm up, but I want to start on your self-defense today, Carlton said as he emptied his boot for today's exercise. Self-defense? We haven't even finished everything you said yesterday. It's all part of it. Trust me, he said, looking at me. Besides, I never said we'd stop exercising totally. I just meant I'll be splitting the time between exercising and self-defense, he finished with a smirk. Oh, Mom. All right, get ready for warm-ups, he instructed. I stretch. You know the drill. Run to the tree with the markings and back. I turned to the tree I ran to yesterday, but the marking wasn't there. I turn to Carlton and he shrugs. I turn back and look around at the other trees to find it. I saw it 700 meters away, farther than yesterday. I shake my head with a little smile. I run to the sound of the whistle and back. We repeated some of the exercises of yesterday, but without the breaks this time. 2 hours later, we finally stopped for a breather. He gave me a 15-minute break before he broke the silence. All right, Aries, now that your blood is pumping, let's get to it. He dragged me up and walked us to where we were surrounded by trees. The first rule of self-defense is awareness. Always be aware of your surroundings, Carlton began, pacing around me. Tell me what you can hear, see, and smell, he asked. My brows furrowed as I looked around. I smell the earth, I paused and listened again. I can hear the sound of water crashing against rocks. I can hear birds flapping their wings in the distance, and I can hear the violent rage of the wind shaking the tree leaves. I answered and paused. I can see the trees and little rocks around. I finished after looking around last time. Good start. He nodded. Now let's move on to basic stances. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and knees slightly bent. This gives you a stable base. That way you can adapt to surprise attacks faster. I do as he said. Then Carlton goes on to demonstrate a series of punches and kicks. Your fists are your primary weapons. Keep them close to your face to protect it, and use your hips to generate power in your strikes. I mimic his actions. The air swishes with every punch and every kick. Carlton observed my actions and corrected my form. Not bad, Ares. Are you sure Alpha is not training you to join pack security? He joked. We both chuckled. Let's work on some simple techniques, he said, and wrapped my hands with gauze. We spent the next hour practicing blocks, strikes, and evasive maneuvers. Carlton stressed the importance of fluid movement. He warned me against hesitating. It could cost me my life or someone else's. Sweat glistened on my forehead and my confidence grew with each movement I perfected. Now, let's talk about situational awareness, Carlton said, bringing out a padded dummy he had prepared beforehand. Imagine this is an attacker. Pay attention to their movements and react accordingly. I turned to the dummy and imagined Maverick's face on it. It motivated me to do even better. Carlton simulated different types of attacks and how to respond to them. Remember, it's not just about brute force. Use your opponent's energy and size against them, he said. Use your size to your advantage, always within the hour. I had already learned it, and Carlton was pleased with my progress, and so was I. I thought he was, until he decided to introduce the big guns. All right, we have covered the basics. Now, let's add some unpredictability. I'll be your opponent, and I want you to react in real time, Carlton said, slipping on protective gear. He wasted no time throwing punches and kicks at me. I liked that he wasn't taking it easy, irrespective of my gender. I dodged and countered with the moves I just learnt. The more I countered, the more my confidence grew, the more fluid my movement became. Impressive, Ares. You're getting the hang of it, Carlton said in encouragement. But remember, self-defense isn't just about the physical. Always be ready for any surprise attack, he said before throwing a jab at my ribs. Ugh, I grunted. He shook his head, tutting. I said, always be on guard. Expect surprise attacks, and it won't surprise you when it comes. I know. I'm sorry, I said. Let's work on your blocking. I'm going to throw a few punches, and I want you to block them. Remember to keep your guard up always, and do not leave any opening, he instructed. He threw a series of punches my way, and I worked on blocking them. He observed my form and made occasional adjustments to maintain my balance. We continued for a few more minutes, alternating between drills and sparring. By the time we were done, I was visibly exhausted but exhilarated. I felt the sweat drip down my back. We both head to the rock beside his car to sit. Can I ask why you are learning to fight secretly? Carlton said, breaking the silence. Because I need to, I answered. Because you need to learn? Or because you need to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself and those around me. But I need to have the skills to do that, I answered solemnly. You can always come around during the pack training. I train others like you that haven't shifted. Maybe seeing your progress will motivate some to work harder, he suggested. I'll come around sometime, I said. You are certainly my most impressive student. You might even be able to beat some of the guards, he said, and ruffled my hair. I'm not quite there yet, but thanks for the vote of confidence, I smiled. I'm just saying what we both already know is true. You are really talented, he said. If only he knew the extent of my powers. All right, Ares. That's enough for today. You've made real progress, Carlton said, wiping the sweat from his eyebrows. I like you, Ars. We should hang out sometime. I don't get the chance to refuse his advances before someone else does it for me. That won't be happening, Carlton. So kill any fantasy of her in your head, Jason said. He either didn't drive today or he parked outside the trail. I didn't hear him coming. This is why I need to be more aware of my surroundings. But Carlton started to say before Jason interrupted. I mean it, Carlton. Kill it, he said, leaving no room for negotiations. Carlton looks between us. Is there? He asked, pointing at the both of us. I don't give Jason the chance to answer before I do. Yes, I nodded. Jason turned to me, smiled, and pulled me to his side. Oh, Carlton muttered. Why didn't you say anything? He looked at me in accusation. I didn't want you to treat me any differently, I answered. Your opinion doesn't matter, Jason said in finality. Ouch, Alpha. I thought we were friends. He rubbed his chest in fake pain. Sorry, mate, Jason shrugged unapologetically. Are you mates or just dating? He asked. Jason turns to me for a sign to tell him. I give him a small nod. She's my mate, Carlton. So keep your paws off, he warned. Got it. Ready, beautiful? I nodded, and we walked away from Carlton. He placed his hands at my back as we walked back to his car. How was it? He asked. Don't you get a day-to-day report from Carlton? I teased. I do, but I'd like to hear it from you. I stumbled on my feet and wasted no time catching me. It's okay, I answered. Then he interlocked our fingers. I look at my hands in his and feel the butterflies in my tummy come alive at his touch. How was your day? I asked, blushing. It was hectic, but now that I'm with you, it feels better. You make everything better. I saw his car in front of his answer, but I was lost in his words. I don't think I do what I've been wanting to do since he got here. I crush my lips to his. My heartbeat came on with his. He wastes no time cupping my jaw and bringing me closer, deepening the kiss. We only stopped in order to catch our breath. He doesn't say a word, but only kisses my forehead and opens the car door for me. I'm content with the silence. He walked over to the driver's side and got in. He turned on the car and reached for my hand. Today's session ran longer than yesterday's. Yeah, we covered a lot. Though I won't be seeing him till Monday. I counted the days off in my head. Monday? He turned to me briefly in question. Yeah. I'll be training Athena tomorrow with Josh and Saturday's Madison birthday. Can we go? He turned so quickly he nearly sprained his neck. We? As in you and I together? Yeah. It's okay to say no if you have pack business to attend to, I immediately inform him. No, I'm not busy, beautiful. He smiled, his dimpled showing. He raised my hands up to his lips and kissed it. I tried to pull away. Don't pull away from me, love, he warned. It's just, my hands are dirty. I've been working out and I'm covered in sweat, I explained. Doesn't matter. We got to the pack house sometime later. Wait here, he said, and got down. He walked over to my side and opened the door for me. Thank you, I smiled at him. Go freshen up. I'll make something for you to eat, he said, kissing my forehead. I nodded and walked off. Few minutes later, I'm done, and he knocks on the door before he comes in. Hey, he said while carrying a food tray. Hi. He dropped the tray and turned to me. You look beautiful, Aries. Thank you. But I'm just wearing pajamas, I said awkwardly. You could be wearing a potato sack, and I'd still find you beautiful. He moved the baby hairs away from my face. My cheek heat, and I looked down to ease my shyness. Here, let's eat. We enjoyed each other's company as we ate. When we finished, I realized I didn't want him to leave. The moment he stood up to leave, I vomited the words in my mind. Can you stay? Sure. Let me just drop off the dishes first, he answered after a moment of silence. He returned a few minutes later. That night, we cuddled to sleep, and it was the best sleep I had had in a while. I planned for it to remain that way. No more taking my time. I woke up and looked around for him, wondering when he had left. I turned to the bedside table and saw a note and breakfast. It read, "Good morning, beautiful. I'm sorry I had to leave early. A rogue wolf was caught passing out at the border last night. I need to know who she is and why she's here. I'll make it up to you, I promise. Make sure you eat before you meet with Josh." Even in a hurry, he still made breakfast for us. Athena sighed dreamily. You should stop being so hard on him and complete the mate bond. I know. I intend to. Do it fast before someone snatches him away or he gets tired of waiting for us. Her words invokes my hidden insecurities. She was right. He could wake up one day and decide he doesn't want to wait anymore. I will. 2 hours later, I'm dressed and ready to meet with Josh. Where are you? I asked, mind linking him. Your Highness, I'm on my way to pick you up. Where are we using? Jason said we could use the place where you trained with Carlton, just deeper into the woods, he answered, okay? I'm heading down. He arrived 5 minutes later. Something about him was different. He was a little on edge. It wasn't too obvious, but I could sense it. His wolf was a little restless. Ready, princess? He smirked. Let's do this. A little warning. I'm not going to hold back. Josh said I wasn't expecting you to. I smirked. He shifted into his massive wolf. The fur bristled with excess energy that made him look restless. His fur was brown and his form was huge. He's almost as big as other alphas. It felt like the forest held its breath in anticipation for my shift. I gave Athena control. Athena's form is massive like an alpha's. Her silver-gray fur shone in the sun. With a thunderous growl, Josh lunged at me. His massive frame is propelled by raw power. All the running and exercise with Carlton had shaped my senses and reflexes. I dodged swiftly and immediately counterattacked, aiming for his open side. Our snarls and growls shook the trees and echoed through the forest. We circle each other, calculating where to strike and defend at the same time. Then we clash. The intensity of the clash paints a vivid picture of primal strength and raw power. We battle with our teeth and claws. Every move and countermove calculated. We snap and growl at each other. We lunged into a grapple, trying to overthrow the other. The ground shook at our strength. Leaves and dirt kicked up from our movement. I miscalculated, and Josh got a hold of me. He held me in a death grip. I shook violently in his hands, trying to make a crack, so I slipped through from his death-like grip. I twist and leap, freeing myself. The moment I regain my footing, I prepare for my next move. Athena's form poised and ready for action. Weeks of hunting would do that to you. Are you sure you are okay, Josh? We could stop if you'd like. I said no, it's okay. Let's continue. He refused. Josh, I promise to stop when I get too far. He lunged forward again. His strength was a relentless force. We clashed. Our furs rub against each other, our fangs snapping at each other. I see an opening to take it. I bite down on his hind legs, and he lets out a roar that stills the forest. But he quickly regains the upper hand. As we battled on, the fatigue began to set in. Our breath was coming out in ragged pants. Both our fur matted with dried blood, sweat, and dirt. Yet our eyes burned with determination. Neither of us are ready to give up yet. I see another opening and swiftly launch an attack. My strikes calculated, catching Josh off guard. He crashed into the forest floor with a resounding thud. His eyes showed surprise and pride. He sprawled on the floor and drew in large breaths to fill his lungs. Athena stood over him, her chest heaving with exhaustion and exertion. My eyes flashed with triumph and pride. I nodded at him and stepped back, giving him room to get back on his feet and signaling the end of our training session. He was obviously distracted if I could get a drop on him like that. Josh gathered his strength and rose to his feet. Athena gives me back control. You said you had no prior training, he accused jokingly. I don't. You made it easy. You were distracted, I shrugged. What happened, Josh? I asked in concern. I'm not sure. Since I woke up, Jay's been feeling restless. He rubbed his face tiredly. Jay must be his wolf's name. Have you thought of asking him? I did. He said he's not sure. Also, he released a heavy sigh. There's a pond nearby. We could clean up a little, he offered, standing to his feet. Sure, I answered. He led us there, and I mind linking Jason as we clean up. Partly because I miss him, and partly because I wanted to ask if he has resolved the issue from this morning. Jason, I called. It was easier reaching him than others. Hi, beautiful. Are you done with your training? I could hear the tiredness in his voice. Yes. Where are you? At the PAX hospital. She's injured pretty badly and has been slipping in and out of consciousness, he answered. Can I meet you there? I asked cautiously. Is anything wrong? He asked worriedly. No, I'm fine. I just wanted to see you, I said, blushing even though he couldn't see it. Sure you can. I'll ask Josh to drop you off here. Okay, see you in a bit. Ready to go? Josh asked. Actually, I say. I know. Jason just told me. He smiled and ruffled my hair. Let's go. We got into the car and left the forest. The closer we were to the PAX hospital, the more restless Josh became. When we got to the hospital, he growled so loud and exited the car before packing properly. I follow after him. Josh, what's wrong? I asked in concern. It's my mate Aries and she's hurt, he answered. How do you know she's hurt? Her scent wouldn't be in the hospital if she wasn't, he answered. He pushed a door open, and I saw a girl laying on the bed. I found Jason there also. He walked over to my side the minute he saw me. Hi, beautiful, he said, and kissed my forehead. The people in the room turned to us, eliciting a blush on my part. But I don't pull away. Hi, I said in a small voice. Josh walked to the bed and held her hands. The girl's eyes flicker open. Hello, little mate, Josh whispered. Hi, she smiled. Give them room, guys, Jason said to the doctors. Feet shuffle as they leave. We still need to talk, but not now, he said to Josh. And the girl, come on, Aris. He held my hand, and we turned to leave also. Wait, the girl said hoarsely. We turned to her. Are you Ares? Yes, I answered. You are in danger. Jason's pav. The consistent mind linking forces me awake. I wake up with Aries cuddled beside me. Her softness molded perfectly with my hard one. Alpha, there's a girl passed out at the border. She smells rogue, Derek said. He's on night duty today. Just hold her there, I said, putting on a shirt. I quickly head down and make breakfast for Aries. I left a note for her beside the breakfast before I left. What happened? I looked between those on duty to give me an explanation. I heard someone gasping for breath. I could smell the blood on her from afar. When she appeared in front of us, she was looking battered and bruised. She could barely focus her eyes on me. She fainted before she could even cross the PAX border, and that's when I called you, Derek said. All right, John. Get her to the hospital. She has to be awake for us to question her, I instructed him. Yes, Alpha. Carlton, I need you to send 2 people to the hospital. I can't have her running away or causing mayhem when she wakes up. I don't hesitate to wake Carlton. What's happening? He asked groggily. We have a rogue. Get someone to the hospital ASAP. Hours pass as I alternate between pack duties and the hospital until Eras links me. "I'll ask Josh to drop you off here," I said. She gets here a few minutes later, and Josh barges into the room. "Hi, beautiful." I don't think. I just move to her and kiss her head. I only realized they were others after I had done that. But what surprised me was that she didn't shy away from me. The words the stranger uttered before she passed out made me hold her hand tighter. "What does she mean by that?" Eras asked us in the room. "I'm not sure. This is the longest she's been awake." "Shouldn't she be healing?" Josh said to no one in particular. "The doctor said she was injected with wolfsbane and she was beaten. Her ribs are broken. It's gonna take some time to get the wolfsbane out of her system for her to start healing," I tell him. He doesn't reply, so we leave. "Should I be worried?" she asked with a slight tremor in her voice. I doubt she realizes she's squeezing my hands. "It's gonna be okay." I squeezed her hands a little. "Can we just go home?" she said. She's finally seeing the pack as her home and relying on me. "Come on." We arrived at the pack house 10 minutes later. We went up to the room together. "Can you give me a few minutes? I need to go check on Adriana. I haven't seen her all day." "Of course. I'll join you guys in a minute," she said. "Don't go thinking too much. We'll know what she means when she wakes up. We communicate silently with our eyes." When she finally nods, I kiss her cheeks and head out. I go straight to the playroom and find my little Bean there. She was playing pirates, and she's the captain. Yelling orders is her thing. She sees me a minute later and runs to me with her tiny feet. "Daddy." I lift her and throw her up. Her giggles fill the room and my heart. She hugs my neck when I bring her down. Her raspberry scent fills my lungs. "Hi, Bean. Hope you didn't give Lila any trouble today?" I asked with my fake, serious voice. "No," she giggled. I turned to Lila and she smiled. She was no trouble at all, Alpha. Except when she refused to have her bath this morning. "Bean, I've told you you have to bathe to look and smell good," I said, tickling her. She shrieks and giggles as loud as she can. "Will you be a good girl and take your baths regularly?" "No." I tickled her some more until she caves and said yes. "Thanks, Lila. I'll bring her back. I just want to have lunch with her." I said, "I know you can't stay more than 6 hours without her." She chuckled. I scratch my neck in mild embarrassment and leave with Adriana. "What did you want to eat?" "I want ice cream," she said. "You can't have ice cream for lunch, Bean." She pouts and gives me the puppy eye. I almost cave until we hear Aries. "No one's having ice cream for lunch." Pretty wolf, she jumped from my hands to hers. "My name is Eras, baby, not Pretty Wolf." "Okay," Adriana said. "How about I make pasta?" I asked, looking at both my girls. "Sounds good?" "Yes," they said. I start showboating for them, giving my girls a good show as I cook. Adriana giggles with each movement. Even Aries let out small laughs here and there. 25 minutes later, I served them. We looked like a complete family sitting down for a meal. It was a wholesome moment for me. My girls chat and giggle as they eat. "Alpha," Dr. Scene called from the pack link. "Any news, Doc?" I asked. "The wolfsbane is out of her system, and she is healing faster now. She's staying conscious for longer hours now." "All right, thank you. I'm on my way," I said, and cut off the link. "Aries, she's up," I inform her. "Okay. Why don't you go wait for me in the car while I drop off Adriana?" I handed her the car keys and picked Adriana. "Bye, baby." "I'll see you later," Aries said to Adriana. "Come here," Addie said. Aries brought her ears closer, and my daughter whispered something into them. "Don't leave my daddy. He's sad on the inside." I never knew she noticed. I never thought it was obvious. "I won't," she said, and my heart picks up at her promise of forever. "Come on, Bean." After dropping her off with Lila, we head back to the hospital. Josh stands protectively beside her bed. "What's your name?" I asked her, Haley. "How did you get here?" I released my alpha aura so she doesn't think of lying to me, and she trembles a little. Josh let out a protective growl at my aura. I raised my eyebrow at his actions. "Josh, relax," Eris said. He obeyed her immediately. I noticed since she came, he obeyed her more than he did me. I'm not complaining as long as he can keep my mate safe. I can forgive his actions. "How did you get here?" I asked again. "My pack was attacked a few months ago. I lost my parents and decided to leave the pack since I had nothing left." She said if the attack was a few months ago, then how'd you get the injuries? I asked. 2 weeks ago, rumors of someone killing rogues and going around packs to ask for Ares started. I stumbled across a few rogues on my way. They confirmed the rumors, we became friends, and decided to travel together. She paused. Then we were attacked. They brought wolfsbane and injected us with it while we were sleeping. By the time I realized what was happening, Dean, Damon, and Tadia had already died. Their throats were slashed. They choked on their blood to death. I managed to survive with only these injuries. She sniffed back her tears. Why are they looking for her? Who is looking for her? I fire questions after questions. I don't know why, but I know who, she said. I think I might know who ours whispered, her voice hesitant. Who is it? I rein in my aura and bring Ares' trembling body closer to me. Haley finally opened her mouth to answer. I heard it was an alpha. Alpha Maverick. Ares Pav. You mean your ex-mate? Jason questioned. I'm about to answer when Josh joins in too. You didn't tell me about your ex-mate, he accused. I didn't tell you 'cause there's nothing you can do about it, I answered. And yes, Jason. Wait. Let me get this straight, Haley interrupts us. Your ex-mate is looking for you and he doesn't mind killing people to get to you? I guess. There's actually something I could have done about it. I could have tracked him down and taught him a lesson, Josh said. And I just knew he was serious. But it wouldn't change a thing. I said, I'm expected to be by your side and protect you. Finding him would have been worth it, he said. It's okay, Josh. I offer him a smile. I'm not letting anything happen to you, Jason said, kissing the side of my head. I know I lock eyes with him. I'm going to put you under extreme surveillance because you are Josh's mate, Jason said to Haley. Alpha, Josh whispers. The standard procedure is to lock her in the pack's dungeon, question her, then kill her. I'm being lenient because she's yours, so don't push your luck, he warned. I accept, Haley said. It's okay, Josh. Thank you for the heads up, I said to her. You should rest up. Jason and I walked out, leaving them to themselves. What are we going to do? We have no idea of how far he is or how close. My anxiety was slipping through. We are going to relax. Attend Madison and Cole's birthday. You are going to look beautiful. Then we'll think of a solution after that. Although we have no idea where he is right now, but we know he's coming. So we can prepare for it, Josh said. I don't want to put you or Adriana or anyone in the pack in danger, I whispered. Choking, including Allison? He teased me. That managed to bring out a laugh. I'm being serious, I said, turning to him. I know, but I don't want you to worry about that yet. Let's do it one day at a time, he said. Come on, let's go home. The entire ride back to the house was silent. I don't say a word to him. He walked me to the door and paused. He expected me to chase him away, like last night was a fluke. So he turned to leave by himself. Why are you leaving? Are you not going to bed too? I asked. You've been so quiet, I assumed you wanted to be alone, Jason said. I don't want you to leave. I had trouble falling asleep until he wrapped his arms around me. We spent the night cuddled together and I woke up that way. I turn in his arm and his hold on me tightens. I trace his face with my eyes before I start exploring with my hands. His 5 o'clock stubble added a layer to his handsomeness. The constant harassment from me eventually wakes him up. "Morning, beautiful," he groaned in his morning voice. I immediately dropped my hands from his face, caught in the act. "Gee, good morning," I said. "You don't have to stop." "My body is all yours," he teased and kissed my head. "How are you feeling now?" "I feel better, and you are right," I answered. "I am." "Yes, we should just live today like a normal day and think of our problems tomorrow." "Good girl," he said, and made a move to get up. "Can you not leave yet?" It took everything in me not to blush at my words. "I just want to stay like this for a few more minutes," I finished. "Sure." He pulled me even closer to his side. We remained that way for some time, just breathing in each other and feeling the sparks run through us from each touch. Since it's Cole's birthday, I gave him the day off, but I need to go check on the company. "I haven't been there in a while," he said, breaking the silence. "But you'll be back in time, right?" I asked. "Or you could just come with me." "To your office?" I asked, sitting up. "Yes, RS. Will you come with me?" Jason asked again. "Yes. When are we leaving?" I asked, "When you are ready." "So, take your time," he said, moving my hair away from my face. I got up and started preparing. I hear him chuckle before he leaves the room. I picked out a simple gown to wear and flat shoes to go with it. I follow his scent to the kitchen and find him making sandwiches and juices. He made enough for the three of us. Ours were packed so we could eat in the car while Adriana's were served. "Lila, please give this to Addie when she wakes up," he said to the older woman in the kitchen. "Okay, Alpha," she said. "I've told you you don't need to call me that," Jason said, shaking his head at her. "I know. You just remind me of your father," she said. "No matter how busy he was, he always made sure to make breakfast for you and your mother. And if he couldn't, he'd come back early to have lunch with you guys. I guess I must have picked up his habit." He smiled at her. "Come on, get going. Don't keep the pretty lady waiting." She nodded her head in my direction. "Thanks, Lila," Jason said and kissed her cheeks. "How long has she been here?" I asked Jason as we head out. "I don't know. Since when my parents were alive. She was the one that taught me how to take care of Adriana." "There's something about her," I mumble. "Is it good?" he asked. "It's not bad, but I can't place my feelings on it." "Give it time. It will come to you," he said. Since he was driving, I had to hand feed him myself. It takes about an hour to get to his company. His aura changed when we stepped down. The glass doors opened to a world of organized chaos. Employees hustle and bustle, immersed in their task. Everyone stopped their movement when they saw him. Then they all bowed in greeting and gave me curious looks. "Welcome, sir," a man said. Jason just nodded in reply. "The documents that need your signature are already in your office," he said. "Thank you, Malik," Jason said to the man. Then he led us to a private elevator, and we rode up to his office, all while never leaving my hands. His office had a floor-to-ceiling window that showed a spectacular view of the city. Awards adorned his office. They were all Human Achievement Awards. His office was meticulously organized. "You can sit anywhere, ours. I need to quickly go through these documents. But if you need anything, let me know," he said. Okay. 2 hours went by before he was finally done. "Ready, beautiful?" "For what?" I asked. "You don't think I brought you all the way out here just to watch me work for the past hour, did you?" "What do you have in mind?" I smiled. I was excited. "I'm taking you shopping." "Come on." We received the same looks as we leave. He drove us to another one of his companies, a subsidiary. It was a clothing company. No one stopped to greet me at the main office. He probably doesn't visit here often. "Welcome," an attendant said. "How may I be of assistance?" "Could you kindly show us to your private room, and I'll need some of your finest clothes," Jason said. She looked at us from top to bottom and then asked, "Are you sure you can afford it?" Jason was in a simple shirt that was rolled up to his forearm and pantsuit. He actually looked dressed up. "I would suggest that you do as you're told, and is this really how they're training you guys now?" he asked. "No, but they are training us to know who can afford our finest clothes and who can't," she said sassily. Jason doesn't respond and just calls Cole. I wasn't sure about the distance the pack link could cover. Cole called the manager of the branch we were at. He rushed down, panting hard. "Welcome, sir." He bowed respectfully to Jason while the attendant stood there, mouth agape. "It's an honor to have you here," the manager said. Other attendants subtly moved closer for the gossip, their look changing to one of caution. "Is this how you train the staff now?" Jason asked the man in his alpha tone, and he started shaking in his boots. "No, sir. I'm sorry." "I'll make sure it doesn't happen again," the manager said to Jason, barely withstanding the pressure. "I know it won't." "You're fired," he pointed to the attendant. It was at that moment she realized the gravity of her behavior. "I'm sorry, sir. Please spare me," she pleaded with tears running down her cheeks. I could have pleaded on her behalf, but I doubt she'd appreciate the gesture. "You shouldn't judge people based on their appearance," he said to her. Before turning to the manager, have all the staff retrained. I can't have my employees lacking manners. "Consider it done, sir." He turned to another attendant and had her attend to us. After seeing what happened to her colleague, her behavior towards us became more respectful. She brought a series of gowns, all latest collections. "Please try them, Mom." Cue the montage as I change into different outfits and pose for Jason. He loved all of the outfits I wore and ended up buying them all. Then we went gift shopping for the twins. "Can I ask you a question?" I turned to Jason. "You can ask me anything. Why does Cole manage your business for you?" "I hardly see him at the pack. It was my father's company at first. I expanded it after his death. He started it used to be a jewelry company. When I took over, I expanded it to clothes, food, cars, everything, and anything I could lay my hands on. At first, I worked at the office for 5 hours a day, then went back to the pack, bonded with my daughter and attended pack's business. It was hectic, but I had Luke and his dad to help me out before we lost him." "His dad survived the attack?" I asked. "Yes, but he lost his mate. When the grief became too much for him, he slept one day and didn't wake up again. While the twins lost both parents." "That's sad," I whispered. "Yeah." Their aunt stepped up and took care of them. Then I noticed Cole had the brains for business management, so I put him to work. It helped him focus on something other than anger or grief, he said. "How did the humans working with you take it?" I asked curiously. "They were furious. I told them I paid their salaries, so they had to respect him, or quit." He shrugged. "Did they?" "Some. Others stayed." After that day, Cole made sure he earned his keep at the office. "I dare say they fear him more than me," he chuckled at the last part. "You put your grief behind to help your pack. You really are a good alpha and a wonderful person." I leaned up and kissed his cheeks. I ended up buying a gown, a Chanel purse, and a jewelry set for Madison, which Jason paid for, while he bought a new car for Cole. I could sense the thoughtfulness of the gift. He called Carlton to come and pick up the car. After having lunch, we head back to the pack to get ready for the twins' birthday. I chose a slip-on gown that hugged my curves and had a slit that stopped at my thighs. I applied mascara, lip gloss, and blush to my cheeks. I stunned Jason when he looked at me, and at that moment, I was grateful I went back for the dress. He swallowed hard, and I watched as his trousers tightened with want. "Do we have to go?" I loved the reaction I had on him. I smiled in my most seductive way. "Yes," I whispered, and kissed his cheeks. "Meet me downstairs when you're ready," I said, walking out. "Fuck," I hear him say before the door closes entirely. The night was going great. He joined me a few minutes later, after resolving his previous reaction to my choice of outfit. "Come on," he said and handed me a shawl. "Thank you." He led me to the party site and got me settled. "I need to go over some things with Luke. I'll come find you, okay?" he said. "Okay." I nodded. He kissed my head and left. The twins make their entrance at that moment. Cole looked like he wanted to be anywhere but here. Ladies and gentlemen, the celebrants' claps ring out as they walk to the podium. Everyone was in high spirits. Guys hoot at Madison. She twirls and gives them a show. Cole just rolls his eyes at the side. When he couldn't stand the shouts again, he barked at everyone, saying, "Let's get this over with. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you," all the guests sang to Cole and Madison. "Blow out your candles and make a wish so we can eat the cake already," someone from the crowd shouted, eliciting a laugh from the rest of us. They do, and cheers ring out. They both step down from the podium. Isabel, I and some pack guys walk over to Madison. "Happy birthday," I said, and gave her the gift I prepared with Jason's help. "Thank you for coming, Aries," she said, giving me a side hug. "Since you are 18 now, how about we hang out?" one of the guys said to her. "You too, RS," another stranger said to me. Before I could reply, I saw Madison go still and sniff the air twice. We both turn in the same direction to find Luke and Jason heading in our direction. They part and make way for them. "Happy birthday, mate," Luke said to Madison, smirking. I never knew he could smile. Thank you." How?" she stuttered while Jason moved to my side. "How did you not notice?" Luke finished her silent question. "Yeah," Madison said. "I smelt you this morning, but wanted to give you time to celebrate your birthday without me being in your business. So I took the day to attend to the pack's problems," he explained. "Oh," she smiled. "She's taken. How about you, Ares?" One of the guys nodded at me. "I am," I answered. "Who? Is it Carlton? I see you guys leave the pack house together sometimes." Jason let out a low growl at that. "She's mine." "Not Carlton's." He looks at me after he said those words. "So keep your paws to yourselves." Their looks at me change at that moment. It ranged from shock to surprise to questions. Many questions. "I already knew that," Madison shrugged. "So did I, Luke," Josh and Carlton said. "I had no idea when they got here." "I didn't," Isabel mumbled. "You finally admit your purpose for coming to our pack," a sassy voice I know all too well rings out. "Allison." Since her last words to me, I've been trying to get into her head each opportunity. I get to see what she knows, but her walls were solid and strong. "Drop it, Allison. You knew we were never going to happen," Jason said. "No, but at least I wasn't an outsider." She sent a look my way. "I don't remember inviting you to my party, Allison," Madison said to her. "Luke's hands have been on her since he called her mate. It's on pack grounds, technically. Everyone's invited." She replied, "But since you all want me gone so bad, I'll leave. I don't need front sit to whatever show you're doing." The guys dispersed at the warning, leaving Madison, I, Jason, Isabel, and Luke. "I was hoping Cole was my mate," Isabel mumbled. "I'm sorry, Belle. I know you had a crush on him." "Your mate could still be out there," I said to her in encouragement. She just nods and smiles sadly at both of us. "Ready to leave?" "We've had a long day," Jason whispered in my ears. "Yeah, come on." We turned around and left without saying goodbyes. "I'm gonna give you the room to change." "I'll be back," Jason said. "Actually, can you help me with my zipper?" I felt the air shift as he moved closer. He swept my hair to the side and pulled down on my zip, ever so slowly. He left a small kiss on my shoulder when he pulled the zip down. I turned around and found him looking at me like I was the most beautiful creature he'd ever seen. Like I'm the only one he sees. My heartbeat picks up as we share the same air. Nothing else mattered at that moment. Not Maverick. Not Allison. Nothing. He crashed his lips to mine. My head spins as I return his kiss. My fingers find its way to his hair. I pull at them, wanting more. My hands explore his body and he lets me, while his hands on my waist closer brings me closer, fusing our bodies. My gown is off at some point without my knowledge. We pulled apart and I stood in front of him in nothing but my underpants. My instincts are screaming at me to cover up. "You are absolutely stunning," he said, his voice laced with need, the air thick with our arousal. He kissed me softly and his hands moved from my waist to my butt. He lifted me up, and I wasted no time wrapping my legs around his waist. I feel him against my butt. He moved us to the bed and I helped him with his shirt and belt. I had never done this before. I was inexperienced. "Jason," I whispered, my back arching off the bed as he kissed down my body. Every cell in my body felt alive at this point. I gripped the sheets tightly. Please," I begged. "For what?" I wasn't sure. "Words, baby," he said. "What are you begging for?" he asked, while leaving trails of kisses down my body. I swallowed hard at his onslaught of kisses. "More," I whispered. He said nothing else and just grants my wish. His lips find its way back to my neck. He kissed down on the spot the mate mark is supposed to be. I release a gasp of pleasure and he does it again. I let out a small moan and quickly close my mouth in mortification. "I want to hear more of that," he said, removing my hands from my mouth. I bury my face in his shoulders to hide my blushing cheeks and mortification. My breathing speeds up again as he continues his sweet torment. He stopped for a moment and took off the last of both our clothes. I look down and his size strips all air from my lungs. "We can stop if you're not ready," he said. I shake my head slightly at him, reaching my hands to pull him down. "Don't stop." He dipped his head and placed an open-mouthed kiss on my breast, teasing my already sensitive nipples with his teeth. My body responded to him like he commanded them. I felt myself getting more and more turned on. I arch into him and bite my lips to stop some moans from escaping, but the sounds still find a way to leave. He looks at my naked body and growls in pleasure. "You're mine," he goes in for a deep kiss again. He goes down on me and I release sounds I wasn't sure I was capable of. I dug my nails into his shoulders and brought his head closer with my other hand. My hips move in their own accord, grinding into him. The pleasure became so intense that I closed my eyes. "Eyes on me, beautiful," he whispered against my opening. "I want you to see everything I'm doing to you." Not a few seconds after his words, I came in a torrent of pleasure. My moans so loud I could have swore the whole pack heard me. "That's my girl." He praised me and licks his mouth, savoring my aftertaste. "Now, I'll fuck you until you can't walk."